5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Desperately, I clench onto the cuffs of my hoodie, chewing down on my bottom lip and teeth aching from grinding so hard. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I close my eyes again. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. But I still imagine crushing her face under my fist. But Mom's disappointed face flashes in my mind. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The girl is standing there, mouth jabbering and hands pointing harshly towards my face. Mom's voice echoes through my mind. Don't let her get under your skin. The girl now looks like a bear standing on her hind legs, ready to attack. I switch my brain on to make her voice audible. Don't think I can't kick you in your pretty little mouth. I smile, ready to sock her in the stomach, when suddenly Mom's voice chimes in my head again. Padrone, be the bigger person. Okay. 5, 4, my lips part slightly. 3, I press my inhaler to my mouth at the count of 2. For a few seconds, I hold in the medication, letting it linger along with my nasty thoughts on the tip of my tongue. 1. I let the medication enter my lungs, and it gave me the ability to just walk away.
Every day you wake, you will be forced to make decisions. Choices are necessary to enter into the many phases of life. Therefore, you can always have control over your destiny. Optimist, pessimist, and realist are merely words to the dictionary, but to us as individuals, these words represent a lifestyle. From the foods you eat to the clothes you will wear, you can choose to smile or showcase a frown. I wake up every morning as an optimist, contrary to the assumptions of those who judge me. Now in my adulthood, I'm finding answers to my childhood questions. Like, why do I rehearse my lines and get shaky before speaking up in class? Every day I battle with never measuring up to my peers. At work I try to be so perfect in my performance that I just make mistakes. In a room full of people, I still feel socially disconnected. Even though I've had many relationships, I've never found love. I realize it's all because of the everyday choices that stem from my childhood. My dad made a choice when I was 2 to leave me, so my mother worked harder. One day she made the choice to leave me with a guy who could have penetrated my body, but he felt guilty by the tears on my face. So she found another babysitter. This family made the choice to lock my brother and me away in rooms and left us on someone else's doorstep. As a teenager, I was hurt, confused, and angry, so I chose to rebel. My mother pulled me out of school and sent me away to Job Corps. Years later, I met a guy, got pregnant, and had an abortion. Battling with my inner demons, I chose to smoke and do drugs to ease the pain. 2 babies came after, but someone greater than me chose to take them away. When it came down to the electricity or food, my mother chose to feed us. One time our landlord evicted us, so my family chose on a transitional home. When I was young with no money, I chose to steal checks and food. So yes, every day you wake, you will be forced to make decisions. My life could have been different. But because of choices, this is my past. Regardless of what has happened to me, the world will continue to spin. I can choose to be free in the world or be a hostage to pain. My choice is to reaffirm myself. I am who I say I am. I can do what my heart believes I can do. I am a woman with goals and aspirations that will become a reality. This is my everyday experience.
Eyes like knives in my back. Every onlooker is a potential threat. like hungry ghosts, grasping for a living vessel. They're all trying to steal something from me. They're all trying to rip my skin off. I am an abomination. I am guilty. Always ready to protect myself. My friends, every positive expression is feigned. Friendship is something I am driven to acquire, yet the outward demeanor I may present, of warmth and humor, is a strained, anxious warding off of loneliness, meaninglessness, insecurity. And thinking of the roots, the deep, rotting roots, penetrated by termites, regurgitated dust, the roots that I could call my link to old days, memories of curdled baby formula, Dad crashing Mom's wailing head into the nightstand, ceaseless, white-eyed rage. I realize what I've gained from these roots. I am a good friend. I am responsible. I care about people deeply. I notice their discomfort. I have a watchful eye. I'm a guardian. I am careful.
I was pretty young when I figured out that I had this tendency to freak out. Once in grade school, I was whining about someone cheating in a game of math bingo in our class, moaning to our teacher about all the injustices happening. I badgered her until finally my teacher, having had enough, just stopped the whole game completely. Upset, this petite blonde in my class named Sam came over and just unloaded on me with every insult she could possibly conjure up, all for wrecking math bingo too. I was pretty fragile, though, at that age, and most things set me off pretty easily. In a sobbing fury, I shoved her as hard as I could, and she soared across the room, tumbling over some chairs. She started crying as soon as she hit the floor, and I was instantly dragged off to the counselor's office to discuss my anger issues. My parents have fought since the beginning of time, maybe even longer. I think that's just always been a part of their relationship with each other. On the tail end of my parents' arguments, I had learned pretty quickly to avoid my dad at all costs. Don't get me wrong, my dad's a good guy. He just lost it in a really serious way occasionally. My mom would provoke an argument, intentional or not, and then my dad would knock something over and storm out. Although never violent in any serious context, when my dad was pissed, he'd certainly let you know about it in a pretty big way. It's like someone turned the volume of his voice up to 12 and his patience just became totally non-existent. Pretty safe to assume where my anger originated. It was pretty genuinely scary though sometimes too. Thankfully they got divorced a long time ago. I regularly found myself in any number of problematic youth classes over the years. I got to leave class for an hour or more every other day and lie in a dark room listening to Enya and practicing breathing techniques. I always kind of liked it though. It's a lot better than class, that's for sure. When I would lose control, I would just become totally crazy, Enya or not. Abandoning any sense of logic, instead trading it for a much louder, incoherent mania. Desperately trying to find a way to justify my frustration that would then allow me to feel comfortably pissed off. As if I ever had the right to scream in someone's face for doing something I didn't like. Thankfully, both of my parents are genuinely intelligent, understanding, good people. Nobody's perfect all the time. In fact, I'm actually pretty thankful in later life for all the traumatic experiences I've had with my parents. I certainly don't intend to sully them in any way. They provided both sides of a coin. I had let my emotions get carried away and then expressed my frustration in a way that caused others to suffer, both physically and emotionally. My mom has always told me,
do the right thing, no matter what.
I learned her interpretation of the right thing differs a little bit over the years, but it stuck with me all this time regardless. This behavior could not continue anymore under any circumstances. I was in high school when it really became clear. I've been very careful all these years to be in control of myself whenever I become emotional. Since none of us are perfect, though, I've made some pretty downright idiotic decisions, and I've said some even dumber things. I would say I'm pretty good at it now, though, after all these years. You never know when I'm going to just make a gigantic ass of myself again, though. But I accept that part of me, and I accept that part of my parents, and I'm really grateful for all those lessons, good and bad. Without the dysfunction that is my family, I might not be the relaxed, well-adjusted person I'm pretty sure I've become today.